Hello everyone, Richter here and welcome back to another Torchlight Infinite video. In today's video, what we're gonna be looking at is the updates that I have made to my mana stacking Youga 1 build. What am I doing for farming and how strong the character is right now in general, and what I think are going to be the next upgrades to make to the character to make it even stronger. Without further ado, let's get into the mapping showcase. Let me get rid of these compasses because I don't farm with compasses. Let me add some of this. It's a profound map. I'm gonna be adding Dream because Dream is amazing. Show you, let's get to the previous version and show you what I did. I'm actually gonna put the previous version on the screen and gonna go over the changes that way easily. Right, so as you might be able to see, there is a lot that has changed. Surging remains there. Surging is amazing. First of all, you might notice that before I was using only one priceless gear. Right now I replace almost all my pieces with priceless gear. Keep in mind that this is priceless gear, that is the minimum required to improve, is not GG priceless gear. That means that I didn't get the most expensive modifiers that I can get, the most expensive implicits. I just got whatever I could afford. And this ring I haven't replaced because I haven't gotten the dream crafting. So let's get over each piece. This Moonstone necklace allowed me to get the +1 spell burst, some more resistances, and some extra sealed mana compensation for something that I did with the aura setup, and this allowed me to get rid of the shield. The shield had 30% sealed mana compensation. So this paired with the shield are making up for the mana compensation that I lost for not having the shield anymore, and even a little bit more. If I get this to tier 1, it's gonna be a lot better. You could also get the seal mana compensation base, but that is much more expensive than this pitiful aura effect base. This also allowed me to increase my defenses by getting some extra energy shield as well, but the base doesn't have the most intelligence that it can have, so that's something that can improve, and this percentage damage is just an okay bonus. It's not great. The body armor, so I think the last one had pretty much just the base stats that are required. This explode here is just by chance. I don't really want explode. What I want is actually cold damage taken as physical. And then what I want, once I can fix the build a little bit, I want damage taken from mana before life and then mana. Those are the three modes that I want as prefixes and as suffixes. I want as much damage as I can get in every slot without sacrificing the basic defenses that I need. In this case, I calculated that in the body armor I don't need many more defenses, so I could go away with getting crit rating, crit damage, and percentage it here to, you know, get more damage. Then I don't know if these gloves already had, but this is the corrosion that you want. You want double corrode, you want additional mana, and you want additional spell damage. We got rid of the belt. The reason I got rid of the belt is because I could get this. This mod is worth a lot of damage. I don't really understand how the calculation works, but from the testing that I have been doing, it seems that every instance of this mod adds a decent chunk of DPS to the build. So by removing this, even when I only had like purple modifiers, and you may see that This gear is not perfectly crafted. I don't have tier 1 ultimate mods, and I don't have tier 0 anyway. I just got the bare minimum that I could get to improve the build and have a baseline of what I can get, I can make better. So every time I get another tier 1, I make the build a little bit better. And eventually I will start adding T0s to some of the bases. This might be one of them because I think this mod is very good. I got max life for something else that I was doing, but probably energy shield is better. I don't think it matters what prefix you get here. But here you want mana, damage and intelligence, and here you want cooldown recovery, double damage, or you can also hit this affix as well. I think both of them are good. This is probably better than cooldown recovery, but you know, crafting with ultimate embers is very expensive, so for now I'll just stick with this. This has given me quite a boost. And the reason why the cooldown recovery is damage, I'll showcase in the hero section in case you're not aware of how that works. This ring remains because again it has everything I need, and I have the curse here. I haven't been able to get the curse. I'm trying to roll it on this base. So this weapon, I think this is one of this. No, this is the weapon that I had before, which was additional damage with spell burst and cast speed. What I want here again is double damage. I want to cap chance to deal double damage to 100%. Every time I get that mod to be a little bit higher, I get a decent boost to DPS. And same thing on this one. So I already have double damage here, so I would replace this with damage, additional damage by skill casted by spell burst. And what you want as prefixes is mana, and intelligence. Intelligence is equal to mana, so basically mana is what you want. The base affix, again, doesn't matter, get whatever you can. If you have infinite budgets, then you just get focus blessings or penetration or plus levels. You get just the best mod that you can. But if you're on a budget, just get a cheap mod that these base will cost you 10-20 FE, and then you craft it and you craft it for 300 to 500 FE, and you get a boost that is insane in DPS, so it's worth it. This ring I replaced with the other one. I got the barrage skill wave mod. I got extra intelligence, and again, I don't have perfect tier 1 mods here, but again, even when I first switched this ring from the other tier 1 mod ring that I had to this with a bunch of tier 2s and tier 3s, the damage was already equal or a little bit better. So every time I've been upgrading the damage, it has been getting up there. The boots, this is one of the latest things that I changed. I managed to get the +1 cold skill level, some mana and spell burst charge speed is what I want here, and cooldown recovery speed. Imperative, I want tier 1 movement speed, and I probably will make this a tier 0. This cooldown recovery speed is not the best roll, but the boots are a little bit more expensive for the bases. So that's gear. Let's go for skills. Nothing much has changed in terms of skills except for this part. So I don't think I read this mod correctly the first time I glanced over it. This in essence is an additional damage multiplier, but what you have to do, the requirement is for you to have Path of Flames reap enemies, or no, just for you to have a source of reap. It doesn't have to be Path of Flames, but it's kind of a no-brainer for it to be Path of Flames. It could be Icebound as well, it could be Precise Imbue, it doesn't really matter. But in essence, what you want is, once you make the enemy path through your Frost Terra, through your Path of Flames Terra, and they get reaped, they take 18% additional damage until they leave the Terra. And if you path through them again, they refresh the debuff, effectively making you always have 18% additional damage taken, and this goes up to like 24% I think at tier 0. And Path of Flames allows me to get guard. This is the only reason I haven't get rid of Path of Flames, because since we're not doing the spending shenanigans, compensatory life wasn't giving us too much of a boost either, and the shield wasn't giving us any boost at all. So I didn't really care about the mana spent, but I care about the movement speed, I care about the defense, and now this also gives damage. So I think it's a very nice skill to have in this slot. If you want the maximum amount of damage, you will go for Mana Boil. If you want the most speed, you will go for Blurry Steps. If you want the most defense, you would go for Delayed Pain or Frost Shield. Ice Bond remains here. I think most of these have remained the same. The candle, I got a Grudge Candle. I don't think I had that before. And then I got, this one is the same candle. I have another candle setup for speed farming. Then I got the Precise Imbue buff. I got this setup, which this was a fairly expensive setup to get, so Precise Conversion is not that expensive anymore, but Concentrated, I think it was like 600 or 700, Selfless was another 300, so this is an expensive setup, but these scaled the damage further and allowed me to get into another setup to be able to add Precise Spell Amplification, making the loss of compensatory life basically nothing at the moment. It's just a net gain, and once I get like Precise Restraints, I can further increase the effect of the auras, making it stronger. So that's the way I'm switching pieces. Sometimes I lose a little bit of damage or I gain, but not too much, but I know that that piece is allowing me to scale the build into different paths, and that's the way you have to look at it. Now let's go to the hero section again. So I replaced 2 of them with red memories. The reason why I had like a +2 here to get this to level 4, I don't think it was making that much of a difference, and this allowed me, having it be a red memory allowed me instead to get a higher amount of damage, and also allows me to roll tier 0 mods. So as you can see, I have Spell Block chance and Cold Critical Damage, so those are pretty good rolls. And then here is the difference, is like 30 intelligence, and then this going from level 2 to level 3 is roughly, because of the cooldown reduction that I have, around a 22% additional damage added to the build. So the way this works is you gain cast frequency based on how much cooldown recovery you have. Right now you can check your cooldown recovery here, by the way. You go to others and this is what I have, 59% cooldown recovery speed. So according to how the description of this, I have every 5 is, so if I make it to 60, just 1% more cooldown recovery speed, that would be 60 divided by 5, that's times 12 times 9, that will be 108 cast frequency. Now cast frequency doesn't really do anything for you, but with Endless Mana, this one, you get 4% additional, 1.3% additional damage for every 4 cast frequency that you have. Now you have 30% here, and then you have the 108 added, so that's 138%. 138% divided by 4, that is 34% additional damage. So that's why cooldown recovery speed is damage for this build. On top of that, having better cooldowns allows you to keep stuff like Secret Origin for longer. It allows you to keep Icebot for longer, and those are kind of like the only cooldowns that I'm using. So for the most part, I don't really rely too much on cooldowns. But what I wanted to get here is a setup that I want to show you at the end of the video, which is, I think, is like the ultimate way of this build, which goes into cooldown reduction to switch from Endless Mana to Make It Quick. And this one remains the same for the most part. So regarding the Pact Spirits, I'm for the most part using defense. I'm still using Dreamweaver for damage, but Preserver is speed, and Hell Cavalry gives me some extra resistances, less damage taken, in general less damage taken. I added these Kismets for the Spellburst charge speed and less damage taken. What I want here is damage taken from mana before life. That's quite expensive though, very, very hard to come by. So let's do a test. So I think in my previous update I was at like 20. Right now I'm closing to 80. No, sometimes if I hit the barrage additional waves I can get to 90 sometimes, but yeah, for the most part I would say 70-80 is accurate, which is very good for profound farming. So those are the updates. So if that's what you came for, that is the end of the video. Now the rest of the video is going to be discussion about the future of how to scale this build further. And let me show you what I found here. Go to Pro Builds, go to this particular setup that this person has, which is extremely expensive. So you will see the gear. We already have this, but check out this gear. We have some tier 0s here. You will notice that there is damage taken from mana before life. There is damage taken, converts damage to physical damage taken as fire. So there's a full setup of elemental conversion for defense. Surging Inspiration is removed for this mod, which is half of what you have in Surging, but you also get a +1 charge speed, a +1 charge, sorry. And then you get something else, which is resistances and the ability to have more defense. This is 2 damage, 2 armor pieces. And you might ask, why is this person going for armor pieces and why are they just taking mana? There's no energy shield, there's no armor in this build. The reason being is they are, I don't know if you can actually check that here. Should be here if anywhere else. There you go. Mana damage reduction. This in essence, and look at that cooldown recovery speed. This in essence means that they are taking all of their damage from mana. They are not taking damage to life. That means that their HP pool is 30,000. And that is also feeding into their damage. So this is the end game for mana stacking, and I'm gonna share this build code in the description of this video, because if you're building this and you're ahead of me in budget, this is what you want to build. And as you can see, you don't need this. Corrosion is insane. This is like, I think 5,000 FE, but you might be able to hit this. I don't think this is impossible to hit. And this only has this corrosion. This also isn't insane to hit. It's not very difficult. What you need is to get the spell amplification on the Phantom, but I think this is the way to build the character. You would look at extra cooldown recovery on the gear pieces, you know, tier 0s, getting +1 focus blessings in both rings, getting intelligence everywhere, getting a lot of crit rating, crit damage, and just capping resistance as little as you need. In this case, they are going for erosion. There's a setup where you can get the boot mod where you take half of your erosion damage as lighting, and then you get the dream affix, and then you take 100% of your erosion as elemental damage, so you don't need erosion resistance anywhere. I think that is the ultimate defensive setup. And what they're going for is a prairie. I'm gonna deviate from that path and go for, I'm sorry, a space rift. I'm gonna try going for prairie and the other one, spark, said something, the spark one. And so I would advise you, if you want to build this character, to not look at, if you're on a low budget, look at my build. If you have budget, look at this instead and build it this way. I think this is what you should do to have the ultimate amount of damage. So you can see Frigid Domain until conversion, Ice Imbi until conversion, getting the Grudge here. So he doesn't have Grudge candles, but he has crit damage candles and control spell candle, which are 2 of the best ones that you can get. The curse is here. This is also a double curse setup. In this case, he has Poisoned Omen. If you don't have Poisoned Omen, you will have to get a plus curse candle or get curse here, but it's not possible to get curse here because you will have to give up on either the intelligence or the damage conversion. I mean, you could do it, but I don't really, I advise against it, honestly. And the seal mana, you will want to get this as implicit. Once only you can do that. You can do that only once you have precise restraints, because without this, you actually need sealed mana to even be remotely able to reserve everything on life. This build is not reserving anything on mana. Your mana has to be full, as stated here by Phantom. But what you get in turn is so if this is 9%, for every 9% you get a +1. So basically you get +10 skill levels, and then on top of that you're getting a level 26 spell amplification, which corroded can go up to I think 35, but you have to be at full mana, so that's the caveat. And this also opens the possibility of getting a lot of recovery in the form of this defensive skill. Let me show you. So I've analyzed how this might work. You get mana source. Mana source activates when your HP is lower than 92%, which is basically always. So this activates on cooldown, which means you're always regenerating your mana, and you're regenerating charges through using critical charge. And this, because so severe injury is when you take damage that is more than 50% of the sum of your life and energy shield. Because you don't have any life or energy shield in this build at all, every hit is a severe injury. So you can exploit things like cast on severe injury that has inbuilt cooldown reduction mechanics and stuff to use something like this. And you will see that their focus mainly on the tree is getting the most amount of mana. There's some cast speed obtained here as well, but cast speed is not very important. The only thing that cast speed is important for is for this one, because you get damage scaling based on your additional and increases to cast speed. So I think this is definitely the way to build this character. This is where I'm going with my character. I'm not quite there yet at the moment. If I remove Phantom, because I lose all my auras, I lose damage. But I'm looking forward to the point where I can build this. However, there is another thing that's required. I think you need 3 of these Kismets. You need 4. Which means you probably need an unreserved destiny to be able to afford the other one to get to 100% damage taken from mana before life. I will try to make the calculation, but it's possible that you do need to get the 4. Oh, it seems to be like 5 Kismets that he's using here, but I'm unsure. I think if you corrode the gloves, you can change that to not be able to require both of them, to require so many of them. So you get this to 35%, you get 35% here, you get damage taken from mana before life here, and you also get it through dream. That is also a possibility for you to not be able to use all the Kismets, but I think this video has been going for long enough. It's gonna take me a while to be able to reach to that point, but now with the damage that I have on the build, I'm able to farm profound a little bit faster, which is what I was not very happy with. It was taking me too long to finish every single map. Right now I can farm profound with swiftness on, and I could probably even add like a movement speed candle as well. So yeah, I can even get more damage. Let me show you. Show you how much damage I can actually have if I forsake the movement speed. So there you go. Right now, because I'm still on the low life, I don't really use damage taken before life. I'm still relying on energy shield for my defense. But at some point, you want to not reserve life mana at all. So there you go. It's 100 billion. Not too shabby, I think. And yeah, the investment is a little bit steep when you consider all of the items, but I think it's quite it's a very interesting. It's panning out to be better than I expected when I first set up to build this character. I expected it to hit the ceiling that I hit in last video, which was 20. All right, enough rambling. Thank you very much if you watched until this end. Why not throw a like and subscribe to this video? Thank you very much if you have, and let me know if you're still playing TLI or if you're gonna be playing any other game. That's also fine. But if you're still playing TLI, I'm interested in pairing up with you guys to do the city defense. So let me know if you want. I've done all 2, level 1 and level 2. I think I can carry, as long as you don't die, I think I can carry these 2. I haven't done level 3 because I haven't found anyone to do it. If you're interested in running this with me, also please let me know in the comments, or you can hit me up in the TLI Discord, or in the Heroic, or in Rat's Discord, or in you know, I have many Discords, so any Discord where it's TLI, you can just ping me there and tell me, hey, let's run this. I'm more than willing to do so. So thank you again for all the support, and have a great day. Bye.